Um, I think the foremost is whatever your job, make sure that you do the best you can, okay, at it and give it all you have. And also very important is to be authentic, be yourself, and develop your own leadership style that works for you. Be respectful and value everyone, regardless of what they have. Okay? I also think empathizing and caring about people is important. Okay. Work to understand and see other people's point of view. So when you're faced with an issue, consider different perspectives, not only your own. And seek and listen to feedback and get input from others, and don't try to come up with the answers yourself. Because together you will come up with the best solution, probably better than the one you would have come up yourself. Okay, and then also make decisions and provide clear guidance, of course, with input from others. So as a leader, it is important that you do make decisions, that you are clear in your guidance, but all of that after you listen to others and get input from others, and then you do that. So those are the major things that I think that I have learned through my career. I think that has been helpful to me.
Thinking back when we were young, there was always something new to add to the life experience. You get another promotion, you get another salary increase, you get a bigger job. Shedding off a lot of these, what are you adding as your host?
Yes, that's a very good point and a great point, and this is the time to do that, right? This is the time to do that. And what I want to do is I want to contribute to society. I want to give back. And with my skills, I think I can give back by mentoring people. I can give back by volunteering at nonprofit organizations and help them run the organization because of my business skills and my knowledge and my experience leading people. I think that applies to nonprofit organizations as well. And so I definitely want to do a lot of that, spend a lot of time and my energy doing that and helping good organizations with good causes. And so that's what I want to add. And then of course, as I do that, I am still growing, because as I mentor people or as I serve for nonprofit organizations, I'm also learning, right? And I'm also meeting new people. And so that part I think will always continue, and that's a good thing. And no matter what I do, what I choose to do, while I'm giving back, I'm also growing as a person too. So that's a process I don't think that ever stops.
One of the most meaningful turning point in your life, and how were you changed because of that experience?
I think my turning point was when I was transferred by my company, Dupont, to come to China in 2002. My job was to run a business for Asia Pacific for 3 to 5 years and then go back to the US to continue my career. But after a couple of years, my husband and I decided to stay. And so now, after 18 years, we are still in China. And this was not the original plan at all. So this is a surprise to us as well. And how it changes, when I moved to China, I did not realize that my career and life would change in a very profound way, but it did. So I was based in Shanghai, and my responsibilities covered Asia Pacific. So I traveled all over Asia Pacific, Asia, Australia, New Zealand. I experienced many new cultures. The way you live, the way you do business, interact with customers, and lead people are all very different from the US. And I learned all of that firsthand through doing. And also, I was part of a global team. I had many conference calls in the evenings, and every few months, I would travel back to headquarters for meetings representing Asia Pacific. And so this was also a different way of life than when I was in the US. And so from all of this, I gained new perspectives, and I am now much more aware and appreciative of the diversity of cultures. And I think I am much more international and global than I was before. And before, when I was in the US, I did have global and regional roles, and I traveled to Europe, I traveled to Asia, but it is not the same as living here every day. And I am very grateful for having had this wonderful experience, and it really has changed my life in a very profound way. And I think for the positive, it's all good. Biggest change is in the mindset, right? It's in my perspective, and it's the appreciation for the cultures, the appreciation for the different ways of living and doing business and interacting, leading people. But also just everyday living has really changed, because immediately after coming to China, my life completely changed, because now I go to work during the day, I come back, I usually have conference calls in the evenings. I'm working on weekends. You're pretty much working almost all the time. And in the US, it's not like that. It's a different kind of lifestyle. You didn't work so much in the evening or on weekends, but over here it's a different pace, and everybody has the same, same feeling. So it is a different pace, and so you end up working a lot more, and things just move a lot quicker. And also a different way, another way that my life changed was because there's so many different organizations here, community organizations for different interests, like art and culture, history, the economy, and things like this, that I had the opportunity to join these organizations and to listen to very, very insightful, enlightening lectures, meet people of all industries and backgrounds. I met people, through these events. I met a lot of people, a lot of long-lasting friends, and they come from all kinds of backgrounds, not same as me at all. And so that's another way that my life changed, and it's really it was very enriching, I would say, in all aspects.
What did turning 50 mean to you?
I think it's a gradual change. And I find that my thinking and my priorities began to shift in a few different ways. Okay, first, I realized that I have learned a lot from my many years of working experience, and that I can share that knowledge with young people, especially women, to help them succeed. And indeed, when young people talk to me about situations they face at work, I find that I can usually relate to what they're saying, and I can help them, and I can give them advice based on my own experience. And so I like to put greater effort into mentoring young people. So that's one change. And another shift is that I have a desire to give back to society. And the way I do that is to volunteer my time, my skills, and also my money to charities and other nonprofit organizations. I am now on the board of 3 nonprofit organizations where I'm applying my knowledge and skills to help the organization advance and reach their goals. So I'm finding that I have things to bring to the table. I also began to think a lot about my aging parents who live in the United States, and I decided that I want to spend more time with them. When I was given a new role in Dupont a few years ago, I asked my manager if I can work in the US from my parents' home for a few weeks every quarter. And my manager went back, talked to some people, and then came back to me and said they agreed. No problem, as long as I can get the work done. So that was what I did. So I traveled to the US every few months, every couple months, very frequently, and I would stay for several weeks each time, and I worked out of my parents' home. And so in that way, I was able to spend a lot of good quality time with them. Yeah, so that's very important to me. So these are some of the changes. So in summary, my near-term plan is to get my new management consulting career started, to give back to society by mentoring and by serving on nonprofit organizations, and very importantly, to spend more time with my aging parents in the US.
Just share a couple of learnings,
Yeah.
New learnings you have had since the change of pace and change of life.
It's interesting that this happened after I left the corporate world. I spent the next 6 months learning. I enrolled in the Financial Times non-executive director diploma program, and it's a program to teach you how to be an effective non-executive director on corporate boards. So that was a very, very good experience. I definitely learned a lot. It was a lot of work too. You had to write papers. You had to write long papers, but it's all worth it. And so that course is finished. I passed everything. So I'm now certified for that course. And then I also, in keeping with my desire to spend more time with my parents, I took my parents on a trip back to Taiwan to see relatives that are still in Taiwan. And I also took them to Hawaii to see relatives that are there. And so this was probably around almost 3 weeks. I traveled with them, I took care of them. And that was, I'm so grateful to have had that opportunity to spend so much time with them. So I did that, and then COVID happened in early 2020, but part of that time was spent on studying for that class, and then also use that time to kind of set up my company. And it is a very good time to set up the company. I can think about it, can think about what I want to do with the company, the values, the services that I can bring to the company. So that is what I have been. That's what I've been doing these last few months, and now I'm making progress, and so everything is good. So I was born in Taiwan and immigrated to the United States with my family very early on, and I decided to study chemical engineering when it was time to go to college. So I got a degree. A bachelor's, master's, and also a PhD in chemical engineering. And then right after I graduated, I was hired by Dupont, a US chemical and materials company in the United States. And my job was to be a research engineer at a manufacturing plant site, a very large plant site. And then after being an engineer for 3 years, I got my first supervisory experience. So I was still very young, only 3 years of experience. And I managed a team of 10 scientists and engineers, and we supported manufacturing at the plant site. And then I decided to change my career path to business management. So I got a sales job, frontline sales, frontline marketing, and then I also had some business management roles. And in 2002, the company Dupont transferred me to Shanghai. And my job was to run a business unit for Dupont for Asia Pacific. After that assignment, about 3 years, then I took on other regional and global roles in various businesses and functions. Yeah. I retired from Dupont just last year, August last year, and I recently formed my own company called New Horizons Management Consulting Company. So now I am an independent management consultant, and I advise clients on the strategic design and improvement of business operations, including organizations and processes. So I guide organizations through major change, such as restructuring, post-merger integration, new operating models, etc. So that's, and we do not have any children. And so our life is relatively simple, but I do have a lot of outside interests. I have a lot of interests. I'm interested in art, culture, history, economics, geopolitics. And so I am very active in the community. I like to attend a lot of these events, these talks. So that's, and my other hobby is I like to travel all over the world. And I've traveled to many, many parts of the world.